Okay, now for our next discussion, we will talk about the figure of speech and sound devices. Now, I do believe that we already have discussed this last year and you already learned this during your grade school days. Okay, now we will just have a quick recap and let us review and uh, let's define what are the figure of speech. Okay, let's remember what are those. But first, let us first define what is a figure of speech. Okay. So what is a figure of speech? So figure of speech, these are expressions used to create vivid images and comparisons beyond literal meaning, okay? First, let's define what is simile. So simile, it compares two different things using the words like or as. So it helps create a vivid image in the reader's or listener's mind. So how does simile creates a vivid image in our listener's mind? For example, her smile was as bright as the sun. Okay, does that creates an vivid image in your mind? So of course, yes. Okay. If you will just read this sentence, for example, her smile. So we didn't use any comparison, we didn't use any adjectives or descriptions. So we will just think of a smile. But if we compare it to the sun or compare it with the sun, her smile was as bright as the sun. So knowing that the sun is bright, it will create an image to the reader's mind. Okay? You will imagine that her smile shines bright as the sun. Okay. Another, he runs like a cheetah. So if you will just read this, such as he runs without any description, without any comparison, you will just imagine that the person is running. But if you compare it with the cheetah, knowing that the cheetah is the fastest animal on earth, you will imagine that he runs as fast as a cheetah. Okay, so that is the magic of simile or a figure of speech. It creates a vivid imagery in the reader's or listener's mind. Okay, next, metaphor. So it directly compares two different things without using like or as. So it serves the main purpose just like simile, but this doesn't use like or as. So example, time is a thief. So it doesn't literally steal, but it takes away moments of our lives. So another example, her voice is music to my ears. Okay. So it creates an image to the reader's mind because it is comparing it to another object or place or a person or an event. For example, in this example, her voice is music to my ears. Knowing that music it gives us relaxing atmospheric vibes to our ears, we can imagine that her voice is beautiful because it is compared to music. Okay, so in short, metaphor directly compares but doesn't use like or as. Okay, next, personification. So personification is the human qualities or actions given to non-human things or inanimate objects. For example, such as objects, animals, or ideas, or even nature itself. Let's have an example. The wind whispered through the trees. So do you think wind can whisper to our trees? I mean to the trees? Another. The sun smiled down on us. So do you think the sun can smile or does the sun have a face or facial expression? Another. Time crept slowly that day. So do you think time can crawl or creep or move? No, because we are giving human qualities to non-human things such as the wind, the sun, the time. We're giving human qualities. Okay, so that is personification. So in short, personification gives human traits to non-human things. Okay, next, hyperbole. So it uses exaggeration to create emphasis or dramatic effect. It is not meant to be taken literally, but it is used to make descriptions more powerful or humorous. Or in short, it exaggerates to give emphasis and it gives more power to the sentence. Example, I am so hungry I could eat a whole horse. So do you think a person can eat a whole horse? No. So it is just used for effect. It is used for emphasizing that the person is hungry. Okay, next. This bag weighs a ton. Do you think a person can carry a bag if it weighs a ton? No. It is just again used for effect. I've told you a million times to clean your room. Or another, can a person tell you a million times in just a specific moment of time? No. Again, it just use exaggeration for emphasis. So hyperbole or hyperbole, it uses exaggeration for effect, not for truth. Okay. It is not factual because it is very exaggerated. Okay, next. Let's have a drill if you really understood the types of figure of speech. Okay. Okay, first, her laughter was a bouquet of bright colors tossed into the gray room. Which figure of speech is strongest here? Okay, I'll give you time to answer. Okay, very good. So the answer is simile. So her laughter was a bouquet of bright colors tossed into the gray room. So her laughter was compared to the bright colors into the gray room. Very good. Okay, next. The city never sleeps. So its veins throb with neon lights and restless footsteps. So what figure of speech is mostly used in this sentence? Okay, again, I'll give you time to answer. Okay, very good. So the answer is personification. So the city never sleeps. So again, it gives the city a human characteristics or qualities. Okay, only human can sleep. But the city, it never sleeps. It is given a human quality, right? Okay, another. His voice was like velvet wrapping around the audience, soft but commanding. Okay, this is very easy since we already have a clue. Okay, let's see if you're correct. Very good. It is simile. Again, the voice is compared to a velvet wrapping around the audience. It uses the word like to compare two objects or things. Very good. Okay, next. She cried a river until the streets could have floated boats. Okay. What is the answer here? Okay, very good. It is hyperbole. Again, she cried a river. So do you think a person can cry a river? No. So it uses exaggeration for effect, not for truth. Okay, next. The storm clenched its fist and pounded on the village roof all night. Oh, it's very easy. You can identify what figure of speech is present in this sentence. Okay, let's see. Very good. It's personification. So the storm clenched its fist. So it is given human qualities. Only a human can clench its fists, not nature itself. So again, non-human thing given is given human characteristics. So it's personification. Okay, next. The exam was a monster, devouring every ounce of my confidence. Hmm? Okay, I'll give you time to answer. Okay, very good. It's hyperbole. The exam was a monster. So the sentence is exaggerated. Okay. Next, he ran faster than lightning chasing its prey. Okay. Sige, I'll give you time to answer. Okay, let's see if you're correct. Very good. It's hyperbole. He ran faster than lightning. So no one can run as fast as lightning. So the sentence is exaggerated for effect, again, not for truth. Okay. Now that we're done and we understood what are the figure of speech, let us understand what is sound device. What is the difference between figure of speech and sound device? Okay. So sound device, these are literary tools to enhance a text musicality and emotional impact. So it is more on sound. So if we talk about figure of speech, we use symbols and deeper meaning. Whereas sound device, we use musicality and emotional impact. Okay. So we have alliteration, we have assonance, we have rhyme, we have rhythm, and onomatopoeia. Again, we use more sounds in this type. Unlike figure of speech, it has deeper meaning. Sound device, we use sounds to create musicality and emotional impact. Now let's have the first one and let's define alliteration. Okay, so when we talk about alliteration, these are two or more nearby words begin with the same consonant sound. And when we talk about consonant, these are the vowels uh, that are separate to the vowels, such as B, C, D, F, G. Oh, those are the consonant sounds. So let's have an example. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So what consonant sounds are repeated in this example? Okay, so the repeated letter P sounds are the alliteration. So alliterations begin with the beginning letter of the word. So as you can see here, these are the repeated consonants or consonant letters, the letter P. Okay. Next example, she sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, what consonant sounds are being repeated in this sentence? Okay, so the repeated consonant sounds are the letter S or is the letter S. Okay, next example. The whispering winds wandered wildly. Okay, what consonant sounds are repeated here in the sentence? Okay, very good. The repeated sound of W. Whispering winds wandered wildly. So in short, alliterations are repetition of beginning consonant sounds. It means the letters are repeated in the beginning letter of the words. Okay, so those are alliterations. Let's have the rhyme. So it's the repetition of similar or identical sounds at the end of two or more words, usually at the ends of lines in poetry. So example, the cat sat on the mat. So the rhyming words here are mat and cat. Another, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Oh, wait. The rhyming words here are star and are. So very easy, very quick to identify. So in short, rhyme are the words ending with the same sounds or identical pronunciation. Okay, next. Okay, rhythm. So when we talk about rhythm, it is the pattern of beats or stresses in a line of verse. So it's what give the poetry its flow, like the music created by words. Example. So in I walked to school today, the natural stress pattern is I walked. to school today. So the pattern differs because the pattern is unstressed and stress. So when we pronounce it, the pitch of our pronunciations differ. It becomes from lower to higher. Okay, such as the, dumb, the, dumb, the, dumb. Okay, that is the rhythm. Another example, nursery rhymes often have strong rhythm. For example, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Okay, it is stress and stress. We talk about the highness and lowness of the pronunciation that we use or the pitch that we use when we read the sentence. So in short, rhythm is the beat of the words in a poem. Okay, next. Assonance. So let's talk about assonance. So a sound device where there is repetition of vowel sounds. For example, A, E, I, O, U. So unlike a while ago, alliterations are the repeated consonant sounds. Assonants are the repeated vowel sounds. Okay. For example, the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plains. So the repeated or the repetition of the long A sound. Okay. So here are the assonants. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. So the repeated long A or AI sound. So another, the moon rose soon. The repeated sound of long O. So that those are the assonants. The repeated long pronunciation of O. Again, another, silence of the wind in the pines. So the repeated vowel sound of I. Silence of the wind in the pines. Repeated vowel sound of I. So in short, assonants are the repetition of vowel sounds. Alliteration, repetition of consonant. Assonance, repetition of vowel sound. Okay. Okay, next, let's talk about onomatopoeia. So onomatopoeia, the words imitate the natural sound it represents. So it makes writing more vivid and realistic by letting readers hear the word or hear what is being described. For example, the sound of a bee, buzz. The sound of an explosion, boom. The sound of water, splash. The sound of clock, tick tock. And the sounds of a cat, meow. Oh, okay. So in short, onomatopoeia are words that sound like the noise they describe. Okay, so that's onomatopoeia. Okay, let's have a drill. Let's see if you really understood the sound devices. Let's have the first one. So which line best shows end rhyme? Okay, I'll give you time to answer, to think. Okay, very good. So the answer is, okay, the sun rose high, the birds flew by. So the word high and by sounds identical. Okay, so show that shows rhyme. Very good. Next, in the line, the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain, which sound device is most dominant? Okay. Is it the rhyme? Is it the alliteration, assonance, or rhythm? Okay, very good. The answer is alliteration. So as you can see, the repetition of letter S sound, such as silken, sad, uncertain, and rustling. Repetition of S sound. Very good. Okay, next. In the mellow wedding bells, the repeated E sound is an example of assonance, alliteration, onomatopoeia or rhythm. Oh, what sound device tells that it is a vowel that is being repeated? Okay, very good. It is the assonance. Again, if the consonants are repeated, alliterations. So if the vowel sounds are repeated, it's assonance. Okay, let's have the next one. Which line demonstrates onomatopoeia most clearly? Okay, so the leaf danced with the breeze, the fire crackled and the logs hissed, the waves curled softly at the shore, and the stars twinkled in the night sky. Again, we talk about sound. Okay, very good. It's letter B. The fire crackled and the logs hissed. Very good. Last, identify the dominant sound device in deep into the darkness peering. Long I stood there, wondering, fearing. Okay, sige, I'll give you time to answer. Okay, let's see if you're correct. Very good. It's assonance. Why? So let's look for the repetition of vowel. Okay, deep into the darkness, peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing. So the long E is being repeated. Okay, so that's our or those are the repeating vowel sound. The long E. Deep, peering, fearing. Okay. So that's all for our discussion about figure of speech and onomatopoeia. And if you have any more questions, clarifications, or if you need help in understanding, just feel free to send me a personal message or mention me in your group chat. Okay, so that's all. Thank you for listening.